Let's go, girls! How about we get weird and talk about the movies? So I'm sure I'm not the only one who's really felt the almost 5-year-long gap between the last Transformers movie to now. I feel the mumblings of a Bumblebee sequel have been around for so long I kind of can't believe it's finally going to exist. But yeah, the live-action Transformers movies have been unleashed once again and clawing its way back to theaters with Transformers 7/Bumblebee 2/Transformers Rise of the Beasts. We're close enough to the release where any of the previous films would have definitely had some junior novelization spoil the ending by now, and you know what that means? At least some of the toys have roared onto the shelves at last. How are these animal-themed verbs coming? And you know, it feels absolutely great seeing a ton of new molds and new characters and remixed versions of older ones really boosting the fanfare. I want to start off the new movie hype right, so let's vibe with the glorious return of the sexy red robot dad standing the test of time with Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime.
Let them come.
Now, something to note for future viewers is that this is the mainline Optimus Prime with movie-branded packaging.
Will you meet him on the main line?
Not to be confused with the eventual studio series ROTBOP, which doesn't exist yet, and will be a Target exclusive for some reason. Okay? What, are they worried Optimus Prime won't sell well? But moving on, it seems like for this new film, Prime's brought along a restitched new spin on an old classic remastered version of the Evergreen design. It has a great many of the things he's traditionally known to have. Like, when you really think about it, Optimus Prime's one of those characters whose design is well known for his tits, and I can confirm he's flaunting the style well, this time with some silver chest eyebrows. There's also some bonus increased interest in the robot-y insides, like a see-through bra. You know, Optimus Prime does seem like he'd enjoy some lace. And I can appreciate how the chest peeks further out from the waist, give him that dimension. There's some shoulder-sided smokestacks flanking the very oddly pleasantly shaped Lego brick shoulders, each adorned with a white Autobot badge. Going down, the arms are almost completely painted red with the white wrist triangles and the added piece of truck kibble drooping off. And again, the sculpting is no joke. There's a lot of enticing wires and indents all over this thing. While the generous gray gives off this drab ab, I can tell the designers really went for it and tried to sing a symphony with the sculpting. And these thighs are good. Like, I'm not sure they're juicy enough for a fine Christmas feast, but they're good enough. I'm a longtime proponent of the idea that Transformers are hot, and, you know, I'm just saying, there's more than one way to make something sexy. But as arousing as I find it, this midsection does present the main issue with this figure, namely the understated paint detailing. I can deal with this everywhere else, but the ab to thigh area is where it's most noticeable, absolutely crying out for just a dab, leaving only this island of a black square at the center of Prime's crotch, like a really tiny sensor bar. A little bit of silver wouldn't have killed this thing. The lower legs carry on the Ratitude running righteous, mechanical, and boxy. I like the dab of red circles on the knees, and the dynamicity of the joints really let them sing. Unironically love the massive feet, like he's stomping around on baking trays. They keep him plenty stable, and look, they go up and down and pivot side to side. Maybe I'm just an easy gal to please, but that carries the figure a good long way. And all that takes us up back to the head. I feel like they've sculpted Optimus Prime's face so many times it's almost impossible for them to get it wrong. I adore the awesome 11th Doctor TARDIS blue of the helmet, and the subtly angled shape of his mouthplate and eyes are perfect. You can see they brought along the extra detailed mouthplate sculpting he has in the movie, and those baby blue eyes shine with the light of his spark. I just wish his head was a little bigger. It just feels a skosh undersized compared to what it should be. But anyway, in terms of his artillery, he comes with this lone blaster. What, is he gonna shoot Unicron? But it looks fine enough as a rebooted version of the iconic Ion Blaster, which can kind of be stored on his back, but there's not enough room to make it look elegant. But another thing that can be said is how tidy and considered everything is. Like, outside of that one instance of arm kibble, everything else looks so clean and pristine. Even the tires are tucked away unobtrusively. I wish his head could look up without making him do a pelvic thrust, but outside of that and the limited waist rotation, everything else can move with a good blend of might and fluidity. The range of motion all over this figure really gives it some radical self-expression and lets it exude his natural easygoing charisma and glamour. It's such an effortless toy to make look good. Just move him a little and there he is, it's Optimus Prime. In this way, I think the figure phenomenally physically embodies this heroic persona that's so synonymous with Prime. It's in the effortless, luxurious slickness, the proportions, how he stands, the strength and solidity of everything. It's wonderful, it's awesome, and it's just Prime. I probably should have saved that for the Optimus Primal review, right? The transformation is very Optimus Prime. I'm not sure what anyone's expecting at this point, but yeah, it's easy to step to the rhythm. I enjoy flipping around his feet into his legs. I don't think I've seen that on this character before. It all makes sense. Everything folds and clicks and whoops into place satisfyingly. It's all just so him. And you know what's also so him is this truck. A nice, boxy, yet still edged out semi that looks like a natural progression from what he's been in the past to what we saw in Bumblebee, ready to roll out and such. He's wearing some gray blush over that red foundation, and his grill bar braces thing that he's got in the movie isn't as pronounced as the genuine article, but you can tell they tried with the slightly raised lines meant to represent it. It works enough for me, considering it has to go somewhere in the robot mode. His windows look cool and pronounced, like some fine shades. The light translucent blue really helps the whole cab pop more, and I love the silver on top, like he's so deep in thought. Also admire the bumps below the windows, reminding me of the G1 and Earthrise toy. And there's some speckles of sky blue, which are a treat. The sides are alright. I can get over the exposed hinge, but it feels so weird to see sculpting for the diagonal line bridging the front and the sides, but not have it painted in, like the ghost of something that should have been there. But you can see there's effort behind the door windows, the mirrors, and the silver side step stuff. And because of how the feet transform, the back actually does a somewhat decent job at hiding the fact that it's just robot legs. I'm not sure why, but I find the vent-like indent super visually satisfying for some reason. Plus, you can store the gun on the trailer hitch, and it doesn't even look completely stupid. Lastly, I'm kind of just charmed by this thing's general commitment to angles, from the grill bar whatever to the cubic cab to the sharp 90-degree smokestack turn to the rectangular gas canisters, even if that last one isn't film accurate. It offers some good overall cohesion. I see the vision. So yeah, the truck mode's good. It's a solid effort and brings a fun spin on the classic traditional truck look. If the Bumblebee movie truck seemed like a friendly Pixar character, this one looks more like he's got some things to do. He's on a mission. He'll be your kindly truck dad and everything, but God forbid you don't give him your rocket pack immediately.
My rocket pack? Now! Yeah, right.
And that's Rise of the Beans Optimus Prime. And you know what? Yeah, he's good. You can sort of smell that the budget wasn't as high for these mainline movie toys compared to the Studio Series ones, but while that might make them less premium for an adult collector's perspective, that doesn't make them any less fun.
Something I forgot to mention is that I really appreciate that these are both two completely different figures with no shared parts. They could have just given us basically the same thing again, but they didn't. It makes me feel more justified in having both of them.
And I'm sure the Studio Series 1 will roll along and blow all of our collective minds, but right now, I like this one. As a figure, it's super well designed. It definitely stands up well with the other Voyager-ish Optimus Primes. It looks like one of the better Rise of the Beast toys so far. And there's this breezy, hassle-free comfort to the figure that just makes me want to pick it up and enjoy it. This toy manages to be both strong and soft. It has the innate enthusiastic admiration and the particular plastic pleasure that Prime should possess, making this an overall excellent figure that lives up to the idea of its character. One last thing I want to say is, Happy Pride Month, everyone! To any other fellow queer people watching this, I really hope you can find my YouTube channel to be inviting. I understand that being queer myself sets me apart from most other Transformers YouTubers, so I want to be as open about this as I can. Honestly, you're the ones who I do this for. I know this fandom and the world in general can be pretty alienating at times, and just remember that you are not the value that other people place on you. Remember that expressing pride is such a powerful feeling, and enabling yourself to be who you are is a gift, not just to yourself, but to others. On that note, I would like to highlight the Trevor Project, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing help and support to queer people. I'll have a link to their donation page in the description of this video.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
So thank you all for watching and supporting the channel, and please do have an optimistic time!